see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out. Ooh, mountain, we're gonna walk it out. Ooh, mountain, we're gonna walk it out.
Welcome back to the Connect podcast. We are now on episode number 5, and we have special guests. They are Success in Color, and it's actually an honor and a privilege to have them here today. And I know there's going to be a good conversation. You don't want to miss this one. And when this comes up, it's going to be some fire. I know that definitely.
Yes.
What you got to say, Clayton?
No, I'm fire for those guys. Yeah. Long story short, I met Jason, and then he said he's gonna do something, and today it's called Success in Color, and it's a privilege.
Rip.
And the t-shirt.
So it's a privilege to have them here today, and I know there's gonna be a fire conversation. And yeah, Ross, what can you say?
What I say? So we're just gonna have our guests introduce themselves.
Yeah.
And so we'll start over here and then we go across. You can just say something short and then we can kick it over the first question after that.
Cool.
Yeah.
We ready?
We're so ready.
So I'm Bive. I am the CFO, and Adele roped me into all of this.
Of course.
She sold me the dream, so now I'm here.
Hi guys, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, no
it's
problem.
such a blessing to be amongst you guys, and I hope that this venture blows up for you. For me, so I'm Adele. I am the CEO of Success in Color.
Yeah.
And I co-founded the company with Jason over here in 2017. So it's been a journey.
It's been a mad journey.
Such a mad journey, yeah. So we're happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And then I'm Jason. Please watch the previous episode.
You don't need actually introduction.
But yeah, I co-founded it with Adele. And yeah, it's been a crazy journey. I focus on the technical side of things, so website stuff, technical things that we have to encounter challenges in the business. And then also, I think we all play a nice generic role with organizing and planning things for the business as a whole. So yeah.
Yeah, just to say something that, obviously I say that Jason says he's gonna start something, right? And it was like 3 years ago. And then I told Jason that, right, we're gonna start the podcast, and I shared the vision regarding the podcast. And then Jason's like, okay, Success in Color, it has the same type of vision. We want to impact the community. Mm-hmm. And then long story short, we said, okay, right, how can we, engage one another?
Yeah.
And do this thing. And it's not every organization that you can get that wants to do something towards the community.
Yeah, it's true.
And even if they want to do something even if they want to have an impact on the community, it's just for self-gain, man. You know, and it's the way our things are running now, and the journey we're taking. It's for me, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks,
so,
man.
Yeah, it's good to have them here. So just to start off with, so obviously Adele started.
You don't want to get the name now.
Yeah, it was just to give him a moment.
Success. Started Success in Color, but But how did it come about? Like, what was the day that you said, okay, right, I want to do something, you know?
So I finished my matric in like 2012, and then I went to UCT. And then like I was probably like one of the few kids that actually got to go to UCT out of Mitchell's Plain that year. So for me, I've always felt like I was one of the lucky ones. And so when I engaged with Jason, like we were like friends at the time, and I told him like it's such a pity that only a couple of us get the opportunity to actually come and study further and actually get in, you know what I mean, and actually do everything correct to fill out the application. So and we both live in Mitchell's Plain, and we felt, and I used to come home and the aunties would come to our mom, and then they would be like, "Nee, my kind, you know, my kind."
It's always that my kind.
You know, and maybe that's not for us, and we don't know. Ons VT, like we don't know this access, we don't know this information. So I was talking to Jason, I said we need to do something about this. We were the lucky ones that got to study further, and it wasn't like it's such a simple thing of filling out the application form. That's the boundary, that's the barrier to entry, and we were like that, like we knew how to do it. So if we can, I mean, it's such an easy skill that we were like, why don't we just establish a company and do this thing? So I mean, we were privileged enough, so we thought, you know what, our privilege, let's take it back to our hometown, our homeland, and
share it.
And then we established it. It was,
Basically.
Why not?
Yeah, and just touching on that, like with starting something like that, like she went to university, I didn't go, right? Friends obviously between us went and didn't go also. But what we found was that the problem, like she said, the problem wasn't necessarily that people didn't have the marks. They didn't have access to the knowledge that they could go and study there. They didn't know it was a feasible thing. To them, the next step was going to work in a local business or at ShopRite or Checkers or whatever. Some of them don't study, some of them become they do skills, you know, whatever their father did, whatever their mother did. So that is also part of the problem, and we said like we need to do something about it that can enrich that experience for students coming up. So
that's nice. I was actually during this week, I actually drove past my high school, and I took a video, and I said like, my parents gave me this. You get what I'm trying to say? And I asked myself the question, what am I gonna give to my children one day?
Sure, powerful.
So I was thinking about that, and I'll always say the sons will always be greater than the fathers. And I think Jason touched on his episode, or when he was here, he said that sometimes our parents only know a certain amount of knowledge.
Absolutely.
But it's for us to give more knowledge to our children or to the next generation. And how powerful it is that your company stands for paying it forward, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
Doing something that you never experienced, or giving someone else opportunity that you never experienced before in your life. So that's really powerful.
And that's what I like about it, because you coming back into your community where you're from, and you say, look here, here's an opportunity for you to apply for university, even if it's a college. And here's funding also. You apply for your funding. Because sometimes a lot of us get it wrong. I know by your local colleges, you get funding quick, but they don't give it quick to university students. So that's a big thing for me. And if a child can see, look here, okay, there's opportunity for me to go further myself and get a degree, why don't I do it?
And sorry, just on that, Ross, I think it's so important. We last year when the matric results came out for last year's cohort of matriculants, there was on the news that NSFAS applications, about 50,000 of them were incomplete.
Sure.
That is 50,000 opportunities that were missed. because you didn't know. You didn't have the ability to complete it. So for us, we made sure that everyone that's part of the Success in Color team has actually gone through the system already.
Yeah.
So we're not people that came from the street and was like, well, here's a service, but we've never experienced it.
Yeah.
We were people, everybody that's part of us, and everybody have degrees. They're currently in college or in university. Everybody has something to offer.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing. We've been through it. We know what block to tick.
Yeah.
We know how to fill in the application. We know when it's incomplete, they're not going to look at it.
Yeah.
So when we sit with you, I'm telling you now, that thing will be done, son.
Yes.
That thing will be done. And we will even do follow-ups. We'll speak to parents. We'll go to schools just to get that one kid. Because
Yeah.
that, guys, if you reach one kid,
Yeah.
you don't know that each that kid has.
Yeah.
You just and sometimes the kid just needs one person to believe in them. And that's what we offer. We offer much more than just filling out the document.
Yeah.
This is actually, we have sessions with kids and they just chat to us and, you know, it's mentorship.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I feel that a parent also should be invested
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
into the child.
Definitely.
Even though like they're going to apply, they're coming out to Success in Color, look, apply for me. A mother or father, or if you have both parents in the household, should try to say, look here, go to them, ask them to fill it out for you. Like you said, parents might not have the knowledge how to fill this thing out, but you guys have it.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. A parent should invest into their child's future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no
to
problem.
interrupt. That's the thing we saw last year when we started doing the physical applications. It was the mummies and the aunties who were there like, okay, you need to apply. What do I still need to provide for this application to be complete? So we know that the parents are very invested.
Yes.
So we just need the kids to also, you know, buy into this.
Come to the party.
Yeah.
And also like you know, you get these kids that grow up in very difficult
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
And their first thing for after matric is I have to go work so that I can have an income for the house. And that is where most of our people lack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to generalize it where we lack.
Yeah.
And then there's other parents that made a way or said, look here, I'm setting my child up for his future or for his career that is lying ahead.
And on that, like, even if you have that situation, like, it's not a favorable situation where you don't have the choice to go study.
Yeah.
There is alternatives, like there is part-time studies, there is completely remote studies where you don't go into a university, you just maybe go write an exam or so.
Yeah.
So you can work and study at the same time, and I think that's also like the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's the biggest gap with this. Once our people understand that there's this and this that they can do, it's gonna uplift so much more people. But just because they don't know, the biggest gap.
I think the
Biggest gap.
apologies. The people can learn from that episode with Jason, where he said no, he only applied at one university.
Yeah.
That was my mistake, yeah.
And then
Should have
he
had
went
Success in
to,
Color.
then he went to college, but then he also went to go work. So
Yeah.
there's always ways around it to also earn an income while you study. And what I did was I sent a picture to someone. I said, look here, I know you have someone in your household that's in matric. Mail these people.
Yeah.
They will help you.
Yeah.
And look, I gave you already that part. It's just for you to apply.
Come to the
Not
plate, yeah.
Come to the plate.
Yes, that's.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. My mind is just going far because like I'm just thinking about the kid, man. That they don't have support by the parents.
Yeah.
What's happening to that kid?
Yeah.
And I think you know the vision is and like Adele, no?
Yes, it is Adele.
She said that it's more about filling an application form
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Simple.
Yeah.
and support. Like I also deal with youth. Like support is the most important thing that a youngster needs in this time, because like a youngster in today's generation and in today's society, they can be, they can become great, but they can also, if they make the wrong choices in life
Yeah.
and they don't have the support, man,
And
Yeah.
fall by the
you can't
wayside.
do this. You can achieve the high marks. You can play in the PSL, you can go play overseas, you can become this business lady, this businessman. Like if we don't have that, then you know what, and that's where success in color comes in. But yeah, so I think we touching on this a bit.
Yes. We're going on, like, you're already touching on some issues that we have.
Yeah, so but I wanna just ask, like, what's the drive, man? If this is like this one point of saying, listen, I feel like giving up, or like what's the drive? Like you say, okay, nah, that's the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I think, Jason, you can answer that.
Yeah. For me, and I think it's a personal thing, because I think when we first came together and had our first meeting in 2017, when there was a question asked, what does success mean to you? And everyone had their own answer.
Yeah.
Everyone had their own interpretation. And I think that's one thing that makes it so beautiful, is that what Success in Color does, we're giving opportunities, but we're not saying like, oh, go do this.
Yeah.
This is the thing you need to do. This is the path you need to follow step by step. We're keeping you in a narrow road. That's not what we do. We say we're giving everything that we can, all the knowledge we can, we're giving over, and then they can take that and go their direction. You know what I mean? So to get to the crux of it, for me the drive is, I want to be able to give opportunities to the youth, give them the knowledge to fulfill their potential, to fulfill the dreams that they have, to be the breadwinner in their household, without doing it because of circumstance, but doing it out of choice, doing it for the reasons of enjoyment, for their passion. Because too many people live their entire lives, bro, because of circumstance.
Yeah.
My father never left this country, and he's dying to watch a Formula 1 race one day. So my dream is to eventually my dream is to get
I think what's the racetrack? The in Monaco, I think, no?
Yes.
Monaco Grand Prix. So like something like that. It's very small, but like if we can give students opportunities and allow them to grow and do stuff like that for their parents, for themselves, for their families. Like she said, it's a generational impact that happens. You help one child, and the entire family line benefits from it. So that's my drive, bro.
I like that answer, because like, you're breaking almost like, can we say it's you're the first one in your family to go study. So you're breaking something within your family.
Curse.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you get generational curse, but
That someone told me this. You must stop talking about generational curses and start talking about generational blessings.
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
Positive.
I love it.
So maybe if we do something for the first time. And so one eyebrow went up now.
Nothing like the first time.
Yeah.
because that's a big thing, like just like something in your family, something small, like someone going to university or to a college and there is funding for them. That is a big thing, because now that is stress put off from the parents. But there's now time for the parents to still invest into their child's life.
100, bro. 100.
Because what's the point? Your child is going off to study, but you're not there behind them, backing them as well.
Support.
Your support system, I feel it's very important.
Yeah, and I think that's one of your. If I can.
Yeah. It's creating a support network of sorts. But yeah, we'll touch on that
We'll get there.
one day.
I honestly, sorry, so just to answer your question about what drives us, I think it's hard not to be driven when you see all the problems in the world.
Sure.
It's so hard not to think like the unemployment rate is shocking right now. And I mean, okay, like COVID did have an impact on that. But there's something about, us not just following the norm.
Oh, come on.
And us actually realizing that, you know what? Business management is vir Amelie. Jy kan het sulke speel. You know what I mean? You don't need to fit in this box to become successful.
Yeah.
And just as Jason's point, success looks different to all of us.
Yeah.
All of us sitting here have different views of success. And so when we're looking at opportunities, when you're operating in your passion, opportunities will come. So if you know, I really want to be a musician, but everybody kind of went mainstream and did accounting and engineering, and then you're feeling like, I don't know. And also parents like pushing the narrative of like, you want to get this very high paying job and like, you know, like be in a business suit and stuff. But maybe maybe your passion isn't there. So for us, we make sure that we actually sit down and we actually ask you, but like, why do you want to study engineering?
Yeah.
And at the end of the conversation, they're like, you know what, actually my mommy told me, and actually I want to do music, and that's how we are so ill-informed at the school level that when we leave, we don't have the skills to actually operate in the market because we never were passionate inside when we had the schooling.
Yeah.
So a very good example is like you're studying towards something, and like you're getting physics, you're taking physics, maths and life science when you are in
High school.
and like you have no interest in it. So when you leave, you're not gonna go do things like that because you hated it. But now you don't have any skills. You could have learned accounting while you were in school. You could have learned business if you really wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So for us, it's not only about the application, it's also about the career guidance and listening. We listen. We make sure we have the mentoring structures, and we won't tell you, go do this. Like we actually be like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
We listen and we say, you know what, okay, maybe we need to work on this a little more. Your punte like is so nice, so let's work on maths. Let's work on this so that you can actually get where you want to be.
You touched on something really powerful. It's like some and I work with youngsters, and some of them say I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be an accountant, and I want to be a mechanical engineer. And I ask them, what subjects do you have?
Yeah.
Then I don't have pure maths, and I don't have the necessary
First
subjects.
obstacle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I ask them what grade you are in. I said, I'm grade 10. Now you. But there was no of that.
Yeah.
The guidance of saying, listen here, if you want to become that, you must have the subjects.
Yeah.
It's either you're not good at it. You say, okay, I want to be a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer. You have to take pure maths, even if you're not good at it, but you must not work at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Towards your goal.
Towards your goal.
Yeah.
So, and like you use it as on Jason, it's about knowledge, man. If you don't have that, and then afterwards when you're done with school and then you want to apply, then you're like, oh, I didn't. You can't.
And that's the saddest thing.
That's the saddest part.
Like when you're on primary school, right?
Yeah.
If you already know, look, I want to become an engineer, I know I must go to a technical school or high school, like Oudtshoorn, for example.
Yeah.
Like you knew, look here, I want to do engineering. So you knew, okay, from primary school I have to go somewhere like Oudtshoorn High, where they give me the necessary subjects to do and to go for like forward, because I know it's going to be easier for me to apply at a university or wherever I want to get into. So I feel that kids should, or even if they come grade 8, grade 9, when they do the subject changes, they should already know, look here, this is my field for after school. And I feel sometimes we don't realize it when we're in high school. We realize it in matric or after school, but this is not my passion. I'm just doing it because I want to do it. I feel
true. I was actually I was cutting my hair. The last time I cut my hair, right? I was at my barber, and there was youngsters talking, and I was like, what are you doing? But there's one, he matriculated last year and he's like working, and he's earning like, a few rands, like maybe 6,000, 8,000, but now obviously he was now, okay, I ate that tight yesterday. Inside.
Yeah.
He got his lifestyle now.
Yeah, he's got his lifestyle, and as our culture, our hair must always be in. Every weekend, I'm not gonna look at Ross with any case. So
that's not the culture.
So now every weekend, our fade must be in. So he's like, yeah, I cut my hair every week and whatever. And then there's one boy is asking, okay now, but how's work, man? He said, he's playing what he do at work. He said, I'm gonna do that, man. And then the other boy, he said, he left high school to go to Northlink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he said, I finished schooling.
Grade 9.
Yeah, so say for instance you're in N6.
Yeah.
It's like a matric certificate.
Like vocational.
And it's like, I can do that in 2 years and I'm done. And I can go work, whatever. But then I was thinking to myself, like, these youngsters don't know, man, like, the value of life, man.
Yeah.
Because you can do that, but the world is like staying you for when
The
you...
next 10, 15, 20
Yeah.
Here we
years.
go.
Looking after the family.
Here we
all
go.
of that.
And I'm like, my heart was like so like, and I knew if I had to tell them, right, it won't sink in them, man, because their mindset is already in that culture.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with
Yeah.
guidance, and if you speak to youngsters, these days you're fighting a mindset of where, okay, you can't do that, we must do this now because of the society that we live in. But because they were in an environment for so long, they think
Yeah.
They think a certain way.
they
Yeah.
think a certain way, yeah.
That's true, because the kids don't know you're gonna go to college. You're gonna do 18 months, right? N4 to N6, and then you must do another 18 months of working experience
practical.
before you actually get your diploma or whatever you are studying for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they don't know that that's actually a 3-year period for your diploma. You could have just gone to university to
Yeah.
your 4-year for a degree.
Yeah.
It's honestly all about the easiest way to
Yeah.
get me where I need to go. It's not per se that I want to work hard.
Yeah.
It's just to get, I got my certificate. You know what I mean? I got my thing.
Yeah.
So therefore I'm worthy of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
It's not the value of the education.
It's not the value, people like the learning mind. Like Jason touched on it in his last podcast. Buddy. Where he said like you have to be a continuous learner, learn new things, pick up the skills. When you start a new job, it's okay to start at the bottom
Yeah.
and work and learn,
Yes.
because that broadens your skill set.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna go with this route.
It's about to get real.
I actually joined a challenge, right? And I've been following this guy Grant down for the last 2 years. So last 2 years, 2.5 years. I always wanted to know, what is this, guys? What does he stand for? Because everyone is just saying, go for your dreams, right? What is your why?
Find your purpose.
How
what's
do you find your
why?
purpose? Do you go do what you're passionate about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but now what is the ABC, man? You must have
Yeah.
ABC.
Yeah.
And then Grant down said that work your top line. This is why he say work your top line. Know people, man,
Make your connections. Yeah.
around the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
That will give you access to and he bring in authors, guests to that platform, and as people that we know, sometimes you see on social media or things like that.
Yeah.
But he said grow your top line. So once you grow your top line, if you maybe need something in media or
Yeah.
government or politics or whatever, your top line is supposed to have that, man.
Yeah.
And I think
That's so good.
yeah, I think like sometimes we don't have, our top line is not so broad enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there is no top.
Please no. Yeah.
There's no line at all.
That could be the case.
No, actually, we do have a line. We have the line of saying, "Hi, Clayton, you work there. Can you also get Jason?"
Organized,
Jason,
bro.
it's so tea,
Organized.
That's our line. Yeah.
No lies.
But yeah, come back,
Yeah.
back on track.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ross, I think, yeah,
What question are we going? Question number 3.
3, yeah.
So question number 3 is when. Wow, I don't want to get it wrong. Ibite.
Oh, there you got it, bro. You
Hold
got
on,
it.
So the question 3 is, tell me the experience when you wanted to give up. Is that the question you want to ask?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that tell me the experience when you wanted to give up.
Yeah.
That's
It's tough, huh?
a tough one. I'm gonna go personal, and then
Yeah.
Adele can add success and color vibes. So I went to UCT with Adele, so we both do accounting.
Okay.
And I did my undergrad fine. No, 3 years. I was like, yes, I did it. And then I got to my postgrad. It's supposed to be 1 year. I took 3 years
You finished it 1 year.
to finish 1 year. So the first year I failed one subject. The second year I failed a different subject.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I got excluded
The
from
district.
UCT. And I was like, oh crap, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then my parents are like, you know what, give it one more go. This is where the support comes in. My parents are like, one more, just do it. So I did UNISA. And I passed through UNISA.
Sure.
So it was
Nice.
like, you know, you just
Yeah.
He's gonna give up.
give up on not, give
Edit
up on
that
giving
out.
up.
Yes, giving up. Yeah, nice.
Just keep going. It's like, you've worked so hard to get to a point
Yeah.
that you're like, I'm so close.
I wanna do that.
So
Yeah.
I want to say two things. I want to say two things. You will never fail if you never give up.
Yes.
Sure.
You will
Yes.
never fail if you never give up. And I woke up with this morning, and I woke up this morning so happy. I'm like, I'm one day closer to my dreams.
Here we go.
Like if you can wake up every morning like that, and it's like
Yeah.
no matter how hard the day was, no matter how hard the previous day was, if you can wake up every morning and say, yo, I'm one day closer to my dreams.
Yeah.
I'm one day closer to my end goal. That is like Jason, I'm like, I woke up this morning, I'm like, no, bro, I'm like, I'm
You
like,
pumped,
I'm like-
excited.
I'm excited. I'm like, yeah. Many guys to you guys again.
Yeah. That's a mindset shift, right? That's a
Yeah.
mindset thing. Like, if her mindset wasn't strong enough to understand that there is more at the end of this tunnel, even though all the doors are closing in front of her, even though her friends are passing and she's left behind. If her mindset was weak, she would have given up.
Yeah.
If the support structure was weak, she would have given up. And I think that's very admirable.
Admirable.
Yes, that's why she's here.
There we go.
See, guys, I'm not struggling.
That she was able to persevere like that, because a lot of people, I don't know if you ever saw this meme, like a guy mining, and then
Yeah.
there's a
Yes.
diamond just on the other side, and he walks back, and the other guy literally finds the thing. So if you keep knocking, you don't give up. That saying is powerful. So yeah, I actually, like, I didn't even know that whole story. Like, I'm glad she actually shared that, because it gives you a perspective of someone's character. And if that is strong, then anything is possible. You know.
And then that's what I like your parents said, give it one more go. And that is important, because other parents would have just like tell it, look here, go do something else. But your parents said, try one more time.
Exactly.
And then that is powerful about the support structure, that, look here, I got my parents that is strong enough to back me.
Yeah.
That's what I like, the support structure.
Yeah. So you want to say?
No, do you want us to talk about from a success in color perspective,
Yes.
maybe?
Yeah.
So, Jason. Yeah, so like we said earlier, we started the company in 2017. And then I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So we just kind of
3 years, cool. Okay, we're here now.
it fizzled so badly. Like because we were all still studying, our priorities are all over the place. And I think because we also haven't really centered ourselves in terms of this is what we're going to do. We were having meetings, but then nothing happens after that. So then we don't speak to each other for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then we come back
Literally.
together.
So
and
there
then
was no accountable.
there's no accountability,
Accountability.
no commitment.
No follow up, no
And no
momentum.
follow up. There was no momentum, and then and like when I'll talk to Jason after 3 months, I'm like, hi Jason, how you doing? And then Jason would be like, oh, I actually did this and that and that. And then I feel like, yo, but I did nothing.
Yeah.
And then I would then be like 2 months just doing sick, and then he'd
It's vice
be
versa.
gone. Then
Yeah.
Jason would drop off the face of the earth for 2 months. So we always were
Jason?
missing each other.
Yes.
We were always missing each other, and that was really a challenge. And then last year, my little sister was a matric. Oh, the chickens came home to roost, let me tell you. Because she sat there and she was like, I want to be a doctor. And I was like, yo, okay, that's lit. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah.
And then she had, and I don't know how, but she had like these 20 friends. 20 close friends. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah.
it's fine. 20 close friends.
Define close.
and they actually became our first target audience. for sick.
Okay.
You know, and then I got the prompting of like, you said this in 2017, and now I'm giving you this. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
And the thing is, life is funny. Like you get this idea, and then you forget about it kind of, and then a prompting happens, and now you have a choice to make.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it, or are you gonna walk away?
Exactly.
And because my little sister was the one that was needing the help, was needing success in color, then we were like, no, we're doing something now.
Yeah.
So then everyone was back on board. We got B3 on board. We were back, let me tell you. We were at Rocklands High School doing applications for any child who would come. And that was so liberating that this year we were like, you know what? We have a bunch of volunteers. We did posters, we did
Yes.
t-shirts. We were like,
WhatsApp
we are
groups,
doing this
on WhatsApp
thing
groups.
fully, and honestly, it's been a blessing. People, like, opportunities are coming, flooding like rivers. Like, people are like, oh, what you guys doing? Like, how can we help? And we like, yo, like, no one said anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the opportunities are coming, and it's something also about being obedient in the prompting. It's also just saying yes sometimes leads to
someone
the
is preaching.
floodgates. It's just the floodgates, honestly. And I mean, that's how we overcame the challenge. The challenge was us staying committed, and when we came back, it was like we never left.
Yeah.
It was like it was made, and now it's like our second skin. If any child tells me now, I leave your house and I go outside, and they're like, oh, I want to be engineer. Come, my kind. Come, let's go. Let's go. We're off the clock, but let me talk to you. Let me send you a voice note at 2 a.m. in the morning, because that's how passionate I am about your future.
Yeah.
I have my degrees.
Yeah.
I have mine. But let me help you get yours.
Exactly.
And that, guys, I'm telling you, after the challenge is like, this girl's audit trainee, like at the Big 4 firm. If she gave up after that after the first failure, after the second one, if she gave up, where would she be right now?
Yeah.
But it's that deurdrukkingsvermoë. It's that getting through it. That.
Boonsterrakke Afrikaans coming out.
Guys, like, what a distinction in Afrikaans.
There's Northern Cape.
You know,
that.
just
There's Northern Cape.
anyway, yes. Yeah.
I don't know who come from Northern Cape, but in any case,
It's
was a
rubbing
hit.
off. It's rubbing off.
Yeah.
But just on that also,
Yeah.
like, we were all, I think, in that first 3 years, everybody was going through
Yeah.
their own challenges also, man. And I think in a team, if anybody finds himself in a business, in a team, and they need to work towards a goal, it's nice when you put it on paper. It's perfect. You have your role set out. You have your responsibilities. You have your salary allocation, whatever it may be. But when you get to it, and this is the thing, I think I was a different person back then. The Jason you see here is not the Jason that was there 2017. And through work, through being in this team, our relationship as business partners and interacting with kids, it opens up a different perspective of what life, the meaning of life, you know what I mean? And it validates everything you do, gets validated. Where you hear kids like, yo, brah, if it wasn't for you, I'd never apply. And you
If it
think,
wasn't for you.
and now you think, yo, brah, imagine this brah never apply, sit at home for the next 2 years, blah, 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 blah. All those things play out. So when you find yourself in a team, and it even applies to you guys, like you guys are a team, you're coming together for the podcast, you all have your different challenges in life.
Yeah.
What I'd encourage anybody is like, focus on the purpose. Focus on your end goal. Even if you're arguing with each other and tomorrow you don't want to speak for 2 hours. Think of that purpose, think of that end goal and say, okay, listen here. I know we argued yesterday, but okay, we need to get this done. And if you can push through that, you can make anything that you want successful. If you just stay focused on that purpose, bro.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm alright.
He's like that. He's behind. He's running. Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel that small impact you guys are making in someone else's life, it's something big, because you wouldn't know a stranger or someone you don't even know will help you this much. Then, or your parents would help you this much. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That I like that, because if you're passionate about someone else's goal, that says a lot.
Yeah.
That's it. And you can also, like, you yourself know, like, look here, my parents might not be supporting me or they have my back, but I know there's someone else that took off their personal time out to help me apply, that has my back.
Yeah.
And that
100%.
that is big. That I like.
But
Thanks, Ross.
yeah.
Sorry.
Adele, right?
Yes, Adele.
You get the keyboards.
I put like a name tag on. Sorry.
Yeah, so you see something of like doors has been opened up, or people received you with both arms.
Yeah.
But there has to be any challenges, like regarding like doing stuff in the community so far, like yeah.
I think a lot of the challenges, like, I mean, we only started like doing full-fledged applications this year, and we started with applications, but that's not all we're going to be offering, but like that's kind of what we can do now to help the cohort of 2020. So I think the biggest thing is people thinking everything is for free. Right, and let me elaborate.
Yeah.
Let me elaborate.
Yeah,
So what I'm feeling is that we don't charge, like, we don't get paid for doing this. None of the volunteers get paid for doing this, but we do charge a minimal fee just to show your commitment, right? And that minimal fee that we charge in terms of just an admin fee, that if you just think about it, you're giving this small contribution, and this thing can set you up for your life. The value that this thing can bring, because like I said, everyone that's part of the organization, we've walked this journey already, and so now we're coming back and we're saying, we know, so let's give it to you, right? And I think one of the challenges is like when we speak about it and stuff, and then people are like, okay, but how long are you doing this, and how much does it cost? And then they kind of drop off the face of the earth, and we're like, but we do really want to help. Like, we want you, like, give us an hour, 2 hours of your year, and we'll set you up for the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's also one of the challenges that I've come across was just that some people are just very close-minded, and they're like, Nima, ons is so right in ons bubble. Like, we kind of okay, my child is, yes, they went to the career fair, they got the brochure, it's fine. But the brochure's lying underneath the bed in a packet. Where we're walking brochures. Do you know what I mean? We can tell you exactly what you need, when you need it, and when the closing dates are.
Yeah.
So, but I think those things are overlooked. We can overcome them. Like, the more people know about us, and the more people we meet here, it's such a blessing in and of itself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of also marketing our services better, and showing that, like, putting the faces to the names, and showing that we're also people, and we are 12. Yeah. I don't know.
Like you said, you there's a small fee, and now someone's gonna think like, but why must you pay a small fee? And now they apply for university or whatever, and then the application over the funding for the NSFAS is wrong, and they think they kick themselves in the foot, like, I could have just gone to them and they could have showed me the proper way. But do it for me. I'm just sitting and they're doing the work for me. So people mustn't be discouraged by taking the offer that you guys are giving them.
I mean, it's an investment if you think about it. This morning I heard on the radio someone saying that you can't save yourself out of poverty. your money has to work for you.
Sure.
I sat in the corner. I was like, whoa, what is
Wait,
happening?
repeat that again, quick.
So they said that you can't save yourself out of poverty. So what they mean is not save like literal saving you,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
mean save in terms of putting geld weg in your sak.
No.
Because your money depreciates with inflation. Your money decreases with time. So what you need to do is make the money work for you. And what better way to invest in yourself?
Sure.
Because that ROI, that return on investment, you have 100%
Counting.
control of that investment and how much
Sure.
return that's gonna give you.
Exactly.
100%. It's not like you are investing in a
No.
unit trust with
Get other
coordination or what other asset management firm that maybe
No.
invest in yourself, invest in your education or your child's education. That is controllable. That investment is controllable.
Yeah. It's not
And
dependent
you
on
don't even
others.
know how big this child can
that-
go.
What now, Ross?
That like
Sorry.
you mentioned. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's
You said,
fine.
Like even you as like you said up here, invest in your child's education. You guys speak.
Yeah.
That it no, but it's fine.
No,
That
you need to.
Yeah. Even
incredible.
you
Guys.
as a matriculant student, it applies the same thing. If you don't invest in your own education, you can't invest in your child's education because you're not educated in the beginning. It's a knock-on effect. That's always it's a generational impact.
I'll give you a personal. I'm
Yeah.
being very personal.
Yeah. Go for
I
it.
tell you my whole life story.
Go for
But,
it.
so I'm from Kenya originally, and my parents come from a small village.
Yeah.
And my grandparents invested in my parents' education. They didn't send them to the top schools, they just sent them to the local schools. But they sent them to school. And I'm here because of them.
Sure.
I get to become a CA because of them. And I've got a younger brother. He's in grade 11 now. And he's sitting there with so many options. He's like, ooh, what should I study? Like every day he's changing.
Relaxing.
Must be nice.
Because he's like, ooh, I could do this. This sounds interesting. What about that one?
Yeah. And sorry, this just came to me. You see, she said, the brother said, what can I do? What do we say? What can't I do?
Yeah.
Why can't I can't do that? We say can't, we don't say can.
sure.
And that's what guys, that's what the level, like a generational thing, like that's what it opens up. Because trust me, because I went to university, my sister will go.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Unless she wants to do skills and she can go do that. But she needs to go do something. She's not gonna lay it down.
She sees your example. And that's what we need. Sometimes you just need someone to be like, oh, she went.
Yeah.
She made it through. I'm going to make
This
it through.
is why success in color, guys. Success in color. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've also read a quote, and it says that poverty is a mindset. Your own mindset can be poverty,
Yeah.
be very poor, right? So even though maybe you don't earn a certain amount of money or whatever, if your mindset is no, I cannot do that, then that speaks about poverty.
Yeah.
The lack.
You know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, man, my mind is actually yeah, my mind is going. I want to ask a question. Do you think you can have a great impact? And you touched on it, right? You say that as a small fee, not everything is free.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a small fee, whatever for admin. But do you think you can have a great impact in a community without money?
I think
100%.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I mean, I was speaking to a friend yesterday, and he was explaining to me how I won't mention the name, but you know him. He was
Yesterday.
explaining to me how he paid for his wedding. How he paid for all these things in his life. He paid for so many things, and there was no money exchanged. He does website development. So he says, listen, you're a photographer, I need a photographer. You need a website, I do websites. Let's work together.
Sure.
exchange the skills, and I get what I need, and you get what you need, and there's no money exchanged. So if more people thought like that, my kas is a stick, and I need a carpenter. You a carpenter, but your plumbing is broken. I'm a plumber. No money exchange, bro, and there each person get a service.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you sitting, you worried about a bowl, you can't fix your toilet. You know what I mean? It's a simple thing, but if people, that's the thing, bro. It always comes down to mindset.
Yeah.
Sure.
In your top line.
Top line. Here we go. That ties into the top line. So now my top line is all the people that have certain skill sets
And that you know.
that I need to do things that I need in my life, you know.
So you know, look here. So you,
Go!
If someone comes here and they say, look here, I'm looking for someone to do this, and you're like, okay, no, I know a
I
plumber.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do carpentry.
Yeah.
Okay, I know this person has a media company.
Yeah.
I know this person has this. You can just go there, mention my name, pa, and then you
There we
give
go.
them-
And if people think outside of the box like that, because a lot of people are money driven, they're hungry for riches, and they don't think about there's simpler
Value.
things in life that carry a lot more value than money ever will.
Yeah.
And if we focus on those things, like you said, the society has put us in a box that we must operate. For this service, this is the fee paid. And there's things outside of that box. There's ways and means around it that the knowledge, if you get the knowledge, you can apply that knowledge, and those things can be met. The requirements, the services, all of those can be met.
But yeah. But say for instance, you want to run a event,
Yeah.
right? You want to or open up whatever.
Yeah.
There has to be there is a point of where, okay, now
You need money.
you need money.
Yeah.
Was even a person who's a top line who has the money,
Yeah.
he must have money to get, or he must be able to get money.
Yeah.
You understand? So and that's what I see, because a lot of people want to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in community work, right? But sometimes they're also limited, or they're limiting in some areas where, nah, I cannot do that because
Yeah.
of money, man. Cannot understand.
You know, I actually watched a podcast with Fusi Tembokwayo.
Okay.
And he spoke about this exact thing. He spoke about this exact thing, and he said, you need money, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Things need to be paid for.
Yeah.
Nothing is free.
Equipment, nothing
Yeah,
is free.
yeah.
Like equipment, these things cost money.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not about. Wait, oh, I forgot it now. Okay, hectic. He said, yeah. So money is important, right? But I mean, in terms of our work, it's not just about. It's more about the value, right? Because someone has to pay for it, right? But if you can get other stakeholders
Yeah.
to fund, and he says, oh, this is the quote. So he said that you don't need money to start.
Yeah.
You need money to grow.
Yeah.
If you need, and so this is his logic behind it. He said that if you need money to start, you don't need an investor. You need a customer.
Yeah.
Yo.
I watched this episode
Yeah.
actually.
And I like screenshot it and I saved it that part. But it makes so much sense because it's proving that your model works.
Yeah.
So it's not about us starting and registering a company and then we go and look for funding. No. We have to go to ground level and talk
Yeah.
to the kids and their parents, because that's the customer.
Yeah.
How much are you willing to pay for this service? And we've done questionnaires and kids and parents are like 200 rand, and I'm like, okay, 200 rand, but technically it's not, you know. But the fact that they looked at the value though, they didn't look at the cost.
Yeah.
They were like, you helping my child, I will put the money in your hands because I see the value of it. So it's all about the value proposition. What are you giving that is valuable to the next person? You know what I mean?
It's like I watched that episode of the lady of that Quran down thing, the 10-day challenge.
Yeah.
And this lady, she didn't take money out of her own pocket to start a business. Her brother invested into a business, and she said there's various ways that you can like get
You
people
can
to
still
invest.
start it, yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes I also always tell myself like, I need money to start my business. But why don't you get someone to invest in you, and you don't even need to take anything out of your pocket?
Yeah. It does remind me of Jumpsock, the
Yes.
CEO of
Yes.
Jumpsock.
Yes.
Have you ever? Oh, okay, now.
yes.
You know
Yes,
that.
That guy.
He actually his name is Ben something, and then he said, and he started, he was in college or university, and he said he was jamming,
Yeah.
but he said the clothes wasn't like, it didn't
standard.
suit him.
Oh yeah, you told me about this. Nah, I remember.
And then he made his own, and he said he made his own first
Yeah.
t-shirt. Like Succession Colors, he made it himself, like the material, everything. And then from there, it just grew. And I think he's one of the biggest companies in, I think, Britain, if I'm not mistaken, or in the country, in the UK, sorry.
In the UK, yes.
Yeah, his company is one of, so during
In
lockdown,
$1 billion.
during lockdown,
Yes.
during lockdown, the government said your company cannot close because you bring so much money into the country.
Yeah. See.
So So-
look what he did.
Yeah.
As the CEO behind this company, I think he did he step down as CEO.
he stepped down as the CEO.
Yes.
Then
and
to a CE something,
like that.
CIO.
Then he let 2 other guys run his company, but
because
he's still the main stakeholder within his
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
because his function, or he want to see the future of the company. His passion is not delegating. Okay, what's the production line? How is that
The
running?
obligations.
The operation
Yeah.
of it, but he's like seeing into the future. Okay, what's the style of the new t-shirts that I'm gonna done? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
can we get the tracksuit? What type of material?
So he's
things like it.
he's focusing on his strength, and he's seeing that there's a gap.
Yes.
What he can do for the company, and if I get the CEO, that's an investment for my company,
Yeah.
basically. No, it's
So
brilliant.
where he's not familiar with things, he's like, okay, you come aboard because you know what to do here, and he's like, and I give you a stake in my company.
Yeah.
And I think he has another investor on board now for his company, and he's opening, I think, up in USA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's opened up in other branches.
Branches, yes.
And he said that the first Black Friday that was on, the system actually crashed because of all the orders coming in.
Yeah.
And people got their orders like 2 months later and stuff like that. So he's like, yo, like he never knew
It's gonna grow that quick. Yeah.
And in the second Black Friday, with the company experience, he made sure that the technology and stuff and the
Static.
can hold that amount
Static.
of traffic, man. And then I watched on YouTube, and how he was sitting with all his stuff, and he said, yo, okay. And they all celebrated because the website or
Didn't crash.
yeah, didn't crash. Also, the traffic was the highest,
It's ever been.
yeah. So
Is that alright?
so yeah. Let me just look at this questions. But Ross, talk on if you want to say something. Because I think
We can go on to the next question.
Okay.
So how do you see growth in individual mentorship for youngsters?
Sure.
I'll take that one.
All right. So for me, it has to be, and this is not just my view. I think I've learned this interacting with various people. We sat down with Cole Davids, who's very prominent in the space of education and mentorship. I've been influenced by Mr. Brian King. Also someone else that's been very influential in my life, and then just from the experience of Success in Color, me and Adal and Mpite interacting with students on a regular basis, planning and so on. So for me, the mentorship needs to be, and the growth needs to be rooted in a much earlier than just coming into matric. It needs to be potentially grade 8, maybe even earlier. So for a start on that, it needs to come much earlier than what most people are offering these days. Second to that is the mentorship needs to be not just targeted at the student. It needs to be targeted at their parents. It needs to be targeted at the teachers. We need to address everything that influences them. And it needs to be real as possible, because the other thing is there is a version of what they see, the perspective of their life, the perspective of what's possible in the environment. And one of the things is we need to break that down. We need to almost destroy the vision that they have and the limitations that they have right now.
Absolutely.
And we have to build it up to show them that there's more to life than what you see in your road. There's more to life than what you see in this country. The things you see on the TV and the movies, it's possible. There's the Trevor Noahs and the Charlize Therons and the Vushi Tembakwayos who have done amazing things. And that's not because they got handed out stuff. They've walked a path that any one of us can go and walk as well, and we can carve out our own path as well. So mentorship really needs to be that three-pronged approach, grounded from an age where there can be a shift in mindset. Mindset is the biggest problem. And then on top of that, it needs to go hand in hand, and she mentioned it earlier, Adele mentioned it, that they need to get exposed. Because they want to be a lawyer. There's a dream vision that they have, that it's this guy in a nice suit and he's got his hair's nice and he goes to clubs every weekend and he's got big business partners in foreign countries, and that's just not the lifestyle. So they need to get exposure to those environments, job shadowing. Like Clayton's done it also in his personal capacity, went and job shadowed someone and found out that, listen, this is not for me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So parents, the student at the right age, we need to sit with them and have a mentor, and not walk and hold their hand, but regularly touch base, find out what you're passionate about, because things change all the time. You might want to be a striker and tomorrow you're a defender. You might want to play soccer, tomorrow you play netball, whatever it may be. But we need to give them the opportunity to find that for themselves.
So I have another question. So you, like for yourself, how is it, or what is it to mentor the next person, or constantly checking up on them? Are they still doing okay? How does that make you feel in your personal capacity? Is it time wasting? Is it worth my time? Is my investment right for this student, or what?
I think Adele has mentored before. I'll touch briefly on what it is for me. So for me, it is, I am doing it not for myself. It's not about me. Even if they don't fulfill the expectations that I might have had, as long as I see growth in that person, as long as core things like commitment is there, they're hungry and eager to get to the next step. They might miss their marks by 10%. They might not achieve the thing that they set out to do, but they've gotten to a place they never were before. For me, that is more important than I checked on you and you didn't do your homework. You know, that's a step in the process. It's the destination is sometimes, like I've said it before, the destination isn't as important as that journey in between when you're building yourself up.
And I feel the kids of today, or the youth of today, have a better opportunity, because now you're going to university, like something like UCT. It's totally different from the environment you come from.
Oh yes.
It is like a 360 flip.
And they've been
Ross,
there.
A 360 flip.
Ross, you're touching on something now.
Because
I promise you.
Because now I went to college, right? I went to college. For me, college was the same as high school. Literally.
Similar vibes, yeah.
Yes, it's similar.
For me
It's-
also.
It's you come into college.
just more freedom.
You sit in. Yes, it's
lot more
literally just
freedom.
more freedom. You come in, you sit in the classroom, you feel like you're in matric again, and
Oh wow.
that's the feeling I didn't like. And I said, look here.
Yeah.
It's not to me. I'm done. It's not to me. Because that's not the feeling I want. I want to come to college and feel, look here, I want to be here. Because it's just something as a university just to change the child's mindset. Or going to going to Stellenbosch University. It's something just poof.
Yeah.
It's the exposure. You get to meet so many different people.
And the doors.
I am telling you.
The doors that
I am telling you.
The
People
doors that
don't
can open
understand.
for you.
People don't.
No.
There's nothing wrong with local. Promise, nothing wrong with local. Experience other cultures
Yes.
out there. You will be
100%.
amazed. That is why I think Coach Brian always say this. He explore the world. Like go to another country. You'll be amazed. Okay, I have exposure because now same with me. You go to university. Okay, right. You engage with different cultures,
Yes.
different mindsets,
Yes.
different perspectives on life.
Yeah.
You know,
correct.
they have an opinion of
Yes.
seeing things like this, and like I never saw that.
Yeah.
And then your
Guys.
upline start to grow, and then you just. And I promise you, I guess I'm so
Yeah.
privileged that like I said, like my parents sent me to that school because you know now I have or you exposed to different things in
Yeah.
life, and that's so important in youngsters' lives.
Yeah.
Because say for instance, and it's true to say the saying goes like, "Show me your friends, I will show you a future."
Yes.
Show me your friends, I will show you a future. That is so.
That's
so-
what I say. Like, if I worked harder in primary school, and
Heavy
go-
throwback.
I'm going.
Way
Now
back
I'm going back.
To the home.
Now I'm going back. If I worked harder in my primary school and didn't go to my local school, my local high school I went to, and I experienced, for example, say Rondebosch boys or Weinberg boys or Bishops or something like that, and I went to one of those high schools. Imagine how you would have been now.
Exactly. And now say for instance your accent change and it's like okay.
wow.
But now it's also because
Yes.
you want to keep a higher mind is because you carry yourself
Yeah.
at that standard.
Yeah.
And so
Your
to say
spine changes.
I am more important than you or whatever. I say that I know okay right I am like this because maybe I'm meeting or I'm in an environment of speaking to directors and things like that, and
Yeah.
society plays also a
Yeah.
role in that of where you must
Yeah.
keep you like but it's like exposure to different things.
It's like
man.
holding the top tier. You go to a big school like that, you don't know that your friend is your friend's
His dad,
dad is
yeah.
probably a CEO of a bank.
MD.
Yeah.
Oh, bank, come on
Or
now.
stuff like that, and you're like, okay, no. If I study
Yeah.
further, I know I can go to that friend and say, look here, I know your dad, and there
Yeah.
is a door open already for me.
Yeah.
There's no hesitation of me getting in there or asking because you already built that relationship.
Yeah.
And I feel if we start young, if we mentor our kids young, look here, work hard so that you don't have to go to a school in your community or a high school in your community, because if you go to different high schools outside of your community, and I'm not saying like where I stay, I'm not saying from Steenberg till Swanswyk. No, you must go past Swanswyk. You know what I mean? If you,
Museum.
So
no, not even Musenberg. You must go beyond that. You go out of retreat to deep river. Go out of that area. Go beyond that. You know what I'm saying?
Cansberg.
so
Doesn't.
But they get to the Cansberg High School though, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But sorry. Sorry, I just want to say, just reach for for the top high schools.
Yeah.
so can I ask why?
So sorry, this is the question. Oh, what do you want to ask? I just have fun. Yeah, so bro.
So why do you feel that you need to go elsewhere? So what do you think is wrong within your school district currently that you want to leave for? Like
Yes.
why do you think that you need to go?
can I go? I feel that you're surrounded basically by the same people, and the mindset
of your culture.
of your culture and the mindset is still the same. They don't see something greater for themselves after matric.
And it's so this is a close. Not everyone.
Not everyone. I'm going to generalize
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, and it's not everywhere.
It's not
also.
everywhere also, because you get people that goes to their local high school, but their vision for their life and their goal and where they want to and where they see themselves is much different.
Yeah.
So,
You get this. You get.
Okay.
Sorry. You maybe get this 10 to 15% who's different from the 85%. You know what I mean?
So don't you think it's better for us to go and speak to those mindsets though,
Yes.
instead of leaving? Because I think we're having this narrative that somehow our public school down the road is bad because we are all kind of the same, right? And just the mindset. And for me and my personal philosophy for this company is we don't cater for the top 5 in a school, because that's what the school
Yes.
caters for.
Yes.
Right? The top 5, the top 10 gets all the opportunities. They get the aptitude test. They get the tutoring,
Bursaries.
which is crazy because they probably are the
Don't
people who
need it.
who don't need it as much. But what about the other 85? What about the not just the top 15%ers? What about the other 85%?
Yeah.
And so, sorry to just
No.
so my thing is with this company, we don't go and we say no, sorry, just top
Yeah.
people can apply. This company is for everybody, and we want to be on the journey with you to help you become your best self. And if your best self looks like someone that really you just love music and they don't offer music at your school,
No.
we still want to be on that music journey with you.
Yeah.
We're not just saying no, be cookie cutter and be within the system. We're saying what do you want to do and let's help you get there.
Yeah.
So our personal philosophy, or my personal philosophy, is that this is why we established the company, and that's why it's called Success in Color, is that the colorness, the people that work there, we look exactly like you. We're not other people coming, we're not having
No.
other races coming to talk to our kids. No. We got our mindset changed when we got to where we went, right? We got some success. We look just like you. We also started at Rocklands High. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Down the road from the school, you know? But we got there.
Yeah.
We sit in corporate speaking to CEOs and they must listen to us. Because I'm the chartered accountant in the room. You are not.
Exactly.
And so that's my thing. It's honestly, if more people of our color came back and said,
There we go.
guys, if I did it, you have no excuse. As if you're gonna go to Bergfleet and your mommy must pay a mortgage for you to
For-
go there.
Just to go to high school, yeah.
It's okay to go
That's
to your
so true.
1,000 rand a month a year school, and honestly, it's just about the shift. It's that shift. It's knowing that the world is bigger than Mitchell's
Yeah.
Plain.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm
say-
saying.
but what I think Ross is trying to say is that if your comfort zone is maybe local, Chrissy, right? Maybe Mrs. Plain, right? It's local. You only know local. Your mindset have never shifted yet. The moment you step out of your local area, you being exposed to different resources, right? Which maybe your friend has never went to UCT or whatever. The moment you went to UCT, then after you find out, hey, is why come my other friends go to UCT?
Yeah, that's how the company was started.
So now you saw the lack, but if you never step out of your local
Your zone.
area,
Yeah.
you will never seen it lack. So now, for instance, and that is what I always want to do. It's no matter where life takes me, I always want to grow that, man.
Yeah.
Go
Get
back and say,
exposure,
okay, right. But before I go back, I need resources. You get what I'm
Yes.
trying to say? Your top line must be there
Yeah.
in order for you to build. Because you cannot start something, or you cannot start a project. You say, listen here, I'm gonna, for example, build a house. but I have no bricks. I have no. There's no plan. There's nothing.
You have no, the
so
resources to build's not there.
it's the so when I go back, I wanna go with everything.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the contract is signed. Everything is just coming.
Yeah, but I think that tying into to that discussion, like for example, like Adele, like you said, Adele went to Rocklands High, and Adele, her mindset is changed, right?
Yeah.
So I see where you guys are saying like I need to go out of my area to get that, but I think, and I don't want to bring this up, but I think it fits the conversation, right? Apartheid did something to our country, unfortunately. And apartheid has put us in areas, and obviously we integrated now, but the result,
Did we?
we are integrated. Like she went to a school and there's white students and there's
No.
black students and there's color students.
Wait, what?
At UCT.
Jason, sorry to break your word.
Alright. So
We're back, guys.
okay, so there's a topic that I wanted to just clarify on basically access, because I think we were having this conversation about you go to your school, but the people in that school, the people in your immediate environment, there's some kind of limitation to how they would think. And I think in certain sense, yes, that is a case, but it's not a definite, because there's people that's in your community, in your school, that do think outside the box, that do have a mindset that's different to those around them, right? And so I don't want us to advocate that we need to leave Mitchell's Plain to get a better perspective of life. It's more that most cases, people who stay in that community, mostly they think more or less the same. But there are exceptional people in the community, in your school, left, right and center of you, that have a mindset that's very different to the narrative that is commonly associated with that area.
No.
Right? So I think I just wanted to clarify that, and also tying into that, apartheid, and I know I said I'm going to mention this, but apartheid did do something to our community, right? We do have to acknowledge that we have been segregated, we have been isolated from each other's races, and we have to acknowledge it, because a lot of people live in denial about stuff like that, you know what I mean? And I think our generation, more so than any before it, have bridged the gap. If you speak to people that have left, or have went to college, or went to a school that's different, that went to a group, a meetup that they met different people, they have a perception of life that's very different. Even in local schools, even in your in maybe in your school, in Mitchell's Plain, you sometimes get people that maybe come from Philippi, then there's people from Westridge, then there's somebody from Strandfontein that's white that maybe also go to your school, and even between three people you develop a mindset that's far different from the rest of the school. And so what Adele was tying into was we need to constantly try and push that diversity in our own communities. Even if you grew up, if you went to Steenberg and you know the narrative that's at Steenberg, right? More or less. When you get out and you figure out there's more to it than just that, you need to find a way that you can come back and change that for that school. And the more we do that, the less it's like you need to leave and get it. And it's more about what can I do to the school to improve that narrative, to change that mindset. And I think Success in Color, it's one of the things that it's a long-term goal, because it's big. To change a mindset of a community is going to be massive. But I think if you can just plant the seed, right, you help that one student that's maybe at Rocklands High, and 4 or 5 years later when they get their degree, they come back to us and say, listen, how can I help? You've done this for me, and we maybe forgot you. We don't know you, or we maybe chatted to you just after you passed, you got accepted, and we're like, okay, cool, well done, I'm happy for you. And maybe 3 or 4 years later they come back and say, listen, you guys did this for me, how can I help? You know, we want to encourage that kind of give back to the community one day, you know. And I think you also maybe want to tie into that more.
You have to water that seed that you have planted
Yeah.
so that you can see it grow.
Yeah.
Because you can plant the seed, but if you don't continuously water that seed, how is that seed going to grow?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes sometimes you can see things in two different perspectives. You can plant the seed, and then you look, no, because the soil is good, this tree is going to grow. And then you're going to get where you're going to plant the seed, but now look here, I have to go constantly water the seed, because I know if I don't water the seed
Yeah.
as often as I must, this tree might not grow.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, and Ross, I actually like that analogy like so much, because as you were speaking, that's a very good analogy for the company, is that we don't just the seed is important and we do plant it, but what happens underneath the soil, tendering of the soil, to do that, to make sure that the soil ready, we also do that. So we do the job shadowing. If you think you want to become a teacher, we set up that for you, and you can go job shadow, and we ask you to come back, you write a little report for us, and then, did you like it? I actually hate children. And we're like, okay, cool, at least
Now
you
you
know
know.
not to do that.
Oh,
Then-
it's so true. It's so true. I'm like,
Exactly.
once,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, it's fine. Go.
sorry. There was once someone told me, you wanted to be a tutor. I'm like, what? You a teacher? Yeah, I wanted to become a teacher. I'm like, but you don't have patience with children. I don't see you having a passion with working with kids.
Yeah.
Because if you're a teacher, automatically you will be like, do activities with kids, or you will be in the environment with kids. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he's doing something totally opposite.
Things that you like, things that will align with the job
Yeah.
that you want to do, your passions and your interests. Yeah.
So true.
And honest, and that's it all. Like, we do this job shadowing, we also do career guidance. So now we've burst your bubble now for teaching. That bubble is weg, is gepas.
Yeah,
Right?
it's klaar.
Now you say, okay, but maybe I want to become an engineer, a civil engineer. Now we go to a company, we say, okay, Ross wants to come for civil engineer. They like 3 days, Ross can come job shadow. Now Ross is like, yeah, I actually don't like. They actually sit in their building for so many hours. I actually don't like that. I don't want to speak. I don't want to be doing this kind of thing. We're like, okay, at least you know what you don't want to do. That's us tending the soil, making the soil ready, right? We're not telling you where to go. We're not saying, Ross, ek dink miskien sal jy dit doen. No. It's Ross saying what, and we helping Ross get there, right?
Yeah.
You get to grade 9. Now we have a professional coming. That's also a success in color. And now they're asking Ross, they're talking about, okay, what is your likes and dislikes? Now we say, these are your top 3 choices for in the aptitude test. This is your top 3. Now we want you to try these.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
At the end of grade 9, you kind of know where you're going.
Yes.
Right? You know, actually like that about that, and I hated that about that.
Yeah.
Actually can't, and this whole thing is narrated through us.
Yeah.
This whole thing is mentored. You have an individual development plan. We've said for you, we know exactly Ross likes, dislikes. Ons weet waar was Ross verlede jaar, die tyd. Where's Ross now? Where's Ross going? We know already. Now Ross chooses the subjects. Ross knows now. I actually liked accounting, for example. I actually liked the environment. I liked working in a team. Like, I like the professionalism. I want to be dressed up every day. Okay, cool. Now Ross is choosing subjects. Is Ross going to choose physics? No. Ross is going to choose accounting. Now Ross is on a journey. Now Ross may not like maths in grade 10. Now Ross says, okay, Adala actually suck at maths. Ugh. Now I'm like, Ross, success in color is a tutor for you. Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Ross, here you go. That in grade 11, we do another assessment. You say, okay, cool. Grade 11, in the grade 11 results, very important. Very, guys. I can't stress this enough. Matric is a bit too late for you to be thinking about where you're going. Grade 11 results is what they ask you. Final grade 11. So, all the guys out there, final grade 11. So then, but the grade 12, I'm gonna pull out Ross's thing and I'm gonna be like, Ross, the journey has been long, eh?
Yeah.
But we know exactly where Ross is going. Ross got the marks because he was motivated, because he really wanted to be an accountant. Ross even went to job shadow more after that. Ross probably didn't know the employer, I can cleaner, I can ammo daar by die week. Ross
Built a relationship with
Ross
them.
already, they know Ross by name already when he comes there. Ross feels like it's home. So now we are filling the application. Oh, Chakati, okay, cool. Here we go. Here's your stuff. Here's a bursary. Here you go. Done. But the thing is, and that's the seed. In grade 12, when we do the application, that's the seed. But we've already tended the soil.
The soil, yes.
We've already tended the soil. So now when it comes to now, we need to water it. Now we're going to ask you, oh, did you get in? Great. Do you need help with registration? This is kind of what we know about registration at the institution. And you can come ask us if you need help with anything when you're at that level as well. You know, at university, at college, study. Because what's horrible about it is that you make such an important decision
Yeah.
at the most immature time of your life.
Sure.
Yep.
And it's life changing.
It changes the trajectory of your life. Whether you're gonna go study or whether you're gonna go work, I'm telling you that decision of what you're gonna do next is possibly the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. Enjoy Viti.
And you don't have the tools to even make that decision.
That like what you were saying now is that like, if I'm going to tell my child, look here, you don't know what you maybe want to do. For example, come here, grade 8, you don't have a vision for yourself. Now I'm like, look here, I can't give you a vision. I can't let you pursue my career that I wanted. So I'm going to tell, look here, this guy is success in color. Let them guide you. I'll support you, but let them guide you.
Yeah.
Because now you're already breaking it down to them. By the time they come grade 9, they already know what field they want to run into.
Because you've done 6 job shadowing sessions already by that point.
And that's a big thing. Because you like I told myself, when I was in private school, I wanted to be a carpenter.
Like Jesus. I see you.
And then but I went to high school and I didn't go to a technical high school. And so when I went to the college for carpentry and I saw what you must do, so I'm like, nah bro, I'm not gonna do this anymore. That's out of the door.
Yeah.
Go do something that I did in high school. So I had to go study financial management. And then I had the mindset, but this is boring. I'm gonna leave because it was not for me. And then now you're struggling to say like, what is my actual career path?
And now you're deep and you're trying to swim and you're drowning and you don't know what to do.
You're running in deep also.
If I only had the knowledge, I always say this and I always kick myself for it. But I know it's not too late. If I only had the knowledge I have now back then and what I know now back then, it would have been different.
But also people change and you grow. So like in grade 9 when you're choosing your subjects, we're not going to close the door for you. Because a lot of people close their doors in grade 9. You don't do physics, you can't get into anything with science. Like you've cut out a whole faculty. You can't do science.
Yeah.
Because you don't do physics. You can forget about doing accounting because most universities like you can get into accounting with math only. So you don't really need accounting. But when you close off things like physics, whole faculty gone. You can't become an astrophysicist.
Nope.
You can't become a marine biologist.
Yeah.
So it's things like that where you just need to remind you that you need to keep your options open even if you don't know what you want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was applying for university. My mom was like, you're good at accounting, CAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's,
And I think that dialogue also with the parents is important.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, I've seen it with friends and that like, sometimes you'll see a parent that's very knowledgeable, that maybe did study, but they don't take the time to have the dialogue about the child's future. They rather smear them into a career that is suitable, that follows their expectation, and just instead of just having the dialogue where you'd have another family, parents where they actively asking and actively trying to engage with their children and like, okay, what is it that you like doing? Or maybe the child's very like talented with singing and acting and stuff like that. Doing drama in church or in the choir, whatever. And they're actively trying to help that child or help this son or daughter improve and keep going forward, and they might not know the correct path, but I think parents need to take the time to invest in just that interest of the child and maturing that innate ability that they have, that they might not know exactly what it is, but they're making the time for it, and it will give them a better perspective of what they want to do. Because I mean, it was the same for me. Like, my father didn't really know, but you could see this potential in us, and he kept talking to me about it, kept having that conversation about it. And yeah, some of us don't have the parents, we don't have that network like we mentioned earlier, but sometimes you just need that conversation
Yeah.
to trigger the next step, you know.
Yeah.
And do you feel communication from a parent to child is important?
Yeah, I think it's vital. I mean, even sometimes it's not even the parent, bro. Like, sometimes it's an uncle. Sometimes it's a neighbor that took the time to just, like, my cousin, literally last week, my cousin came to me. She didn't know what she wanted to study at all, and my father just started inquiring, like, so you like singing? Okay, but why do you want to do work in a hotel? You don't base liquor or whatever it may be, but you like singing, you like working with kids. So then her mind started wandering, because she's like, oh my word, like, yeah. And it's a simple question, but that needs to be early on, like, that needs to be happening.
That one question or that one conversation.
You know, I was actually watching this YouTube thing in the week, and it said that little kids actually know what they want to become. Little kids, because society has not indoctrinated them yet with the limitations.
Not deep now.
So actually, kids know when they're in primary school, they know where they want to go.
Yeah.
Right? Because they can feel, ek like afshow. You know, I like that. You know, that child's like, kom hier, auntie dinges, auntie impieties, ek kom by, spare your moves, by die concert, you know? And that's the thing, and kids thrive off that. But then you get to a certain stage, and then your mommy them is stressed about money in the house, and then reality hits, and you're thinking, okay, maybe I need to go for a more money aspect.
Yeah.
I see poverty, so therefore I need. That was my thing. My parents were like, I grew up. I was raised by my grandparents, and that was geld there. There wasn't money. So what was I gonna do? And so they said, you good at accounting, chartered accountant, lot of money, go do that. And I was like, okay, writing memos in accounting, might as well, you know. And then I went to job shadow in second year, and I came home crying. And my mom was like, what's out? And I was like, they just sit in a room and no one talks to each other. Everyone's on a laptop. And I got the biggest shock of my life, because if I knew that in high school, no matter how much the money was, or maybe I still would have made the same decision, but then at least I knew what my future looked like.
Yeah. You knew what you
and
were
where I was
getting yourself
right?
into. Yeah.
And now it's like kind of, you know, just glad it. So it's just upper class, so it's fine. You know, and now we're doing Success in Color, which is like a labor of love. So
And that's the thing, is like, once you get your qualification, I could like take a sharp left,
yeah.
because I already have a foundation. I've already got, you know, I've got this set of skills that I can go out there and be like, look, I don't have the knowledge for this, but I can learn how to do that, because I can show you that I've learned how to do something else.
Yeah.
Teachable.
Yeah.
You remain teachable.
Comfortable.
So like, you know, in 15 years, if you want to take a sharp left, take a sharp
Yeah, do a
left.
sharp left, if you never know where you might end up.
You know, I think TD Jakes said this once, and his son was studying. This is for me. And then TD Jakes, you know, TD Jakes in his voice.
Of course, yes.
Son.